Call the November 18th, 2019 Belvidere City Council regular meeting to order. The clerk will call the roll.
Brereton.
Here.
Crawford.
Here.
Frank.
Here.
Freeman.
Here.
McGee.
Here.
Porter.
Here.
Ratcliffe.
Here.
Snow.
Here.
Stevens.
Here.
9 present.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, let your guiding hand lead us to good decisions that best serve our community. We are blessed with a community of caring families and individuals. When our community suffers a loss, we are all diminished, and we bond together stronger and tighter. Tonight we ask a special blessing for our city clerk, Shauna Arco, and her family. Shauna's beloved father, Sean Young, left us for the upper room last Wednesday. Be missed by all who knew him. May our thoughts and prayers in your gentle hand help to ease their grief and suffering. These things we ask in your name. Amen. Okay, under public comment this evening, we have no one registered with the clerk. Next up, under number 4, approval of minutes. Approval of minutes of the regular meeting of the Belvidere City Council of November 4th, 2019 is presented. May I have a motion to that effect? Motion by Alderman Brereton, second by Alderman Porter. Questions, comments, or proposed amendments to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Brereton.
Aye.
Crawford.
Aye.
Frank.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
McGee.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Ratcliffe.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
9 in favor.
Minutes are approved unanimously. Under number 5, public hearing, we have none this evening. Under number 6, special messages and proclamations. Under A, we have the announcement of the estimated tax levy for tax year 2019. Attorney Drella, please explain the process and why we're doing this.
One of the peculiarities of Illinois state statute is the Truth in Lending Act requires the corporate authorities of each municipality to estimate the proposed tax levy, which you're not even voting upon yet. That'll be presented later on. The approval of the tax levy will actually occur in December. But before you do that, the council is required to estimate the tax levy. Ms. Tobin will let you know what her estimated tax levy, proposed tax levy would be this evening. We then entertain a motion at that point to approve the estimates of the tax levy as presented. Please keep in mind you're not actually voting on the tax levy at this point. You do that at a later date. This is just the estimate of it so we can move forward to actually consider the tax levy.
Ms. Tobin?
So you have before you that the estimated amount of the tax levy needed to finance the various city needs and activities is $5,091,251 with an additional $726,224 for the operations of the Ida Public Library. As you know, there's a formula that goes into this. The CPI, which we are required to use, is 1.9% for this year. We go off of the estimated EAV, the estimated assessed value that we received from the Super of Assessments Office. That is also part of the formula, as well as the new construction. So all that goes into play when we come up with these numbers. Let's see. You'll see down below that our planned first reading is December 2nd, and then we have our public hearing on December 16th, and then the second reading is on December 16th. Most of you remember from last year that the drop date is December 21st, that this has to be approved and filed with the county clerk's office.
Keep in mind, we're not actually moving to approve any levy this evening, just the estimate of the levy. The actual levy will come back in ordinance form at a later date. It'd be appropriate, Mr. Mayor, to entertain a motion to approve the estimate of the tax levy as presented.
Motion to approve.
Make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Crawford, second, please. Alderman Ratcliffe. Questions, comments? Alderman Snow.
And what was the dollar amount? Because the memo I got, I think maybe got revised. It didn't sound like the same number.
Should be, it's $5,091,251, and then the $726,224 for the library.
I just misread it. Thanks.
Additional questions or comments? Alderman Stevens.
So when we vote on this finally on December 16th, we're going to be voting on two parts, for the city and for the library. There's just the two parts, or?
Correct. The total amount is the 5 million, if you add the two together, the 5,817,475, which represents, it's a 2.15% over last year. And you'll see, I just included, just for your record, you'll see a graph that I included in your packet. This just kind of shows how last year when the council did not pass the increase that we had proposed, this is how that compounds over the years, because this board has always agreed that we, even though we're home rule, we're going to almost pretend that we're still not home rule and that we are going with the tax cap number. So by not approving that last year, you really can't ever get that money back unless you want to go above tax caps. So that amount that wasn't approved last year, which was $160,391, by the end of 2025, you will have lost $1,017,050 in revenue. So just something to think about when you don't approve those increases, that it compounds every single year.
This whole process is based on actual history of spending and what we anticipate will cost us next year. There's a formula that we're given that tells us how much we can ask for in addition. The point she made is, as home rule, we can ask for anything that we want. And if you continually vote down these small increases, $160,000 that compound, when our costs go up 5 to 7% a year for the same services we provided the last year, at some point in time, we have a balance sheet that will be upside down. And I don't know where you think we can make up that money. I think sometimes y'all get confused about something. The state of Illinois is the culprit here because we get 9.5% of our local government tax fund back. They get 91.5% of local government distributed fund. Anytime that we need money for other things, infrastructure, we have to go through a process for a grant or a matching amount or something like that. I don't like the way that the state of Illinois has structured their tax laws. They don't favor municipalities in any respect. They favor the city of Chicago in every respect. And money that, because of the agreement that was made with the Chicago Teachers Union recently, money that was going to be coming from the casino operations for the 5 new approved casinos are now going to be diverted to pay for an untenable increase in salaries for the City of Chicago Teachers Union, which means their salary will average about $91,000 a year. They have lost 30,000 students over the last 6 years in outward flight out of Chicago schools. So, you know, we have X number of dollars that come in from our different sales taxes and taxes that we have approved. We have to have the money to run the city and pay the payroll. As you all know, our payroll is the most significant expense that we have, and we do not have excess people on any of our payrolls. So I would like you all to be students of economics as you go about and look at this and realize what this is going to do to us as we go forward. And please, may I ask you, let's not vote down the entire levy. again this year, so that we have to have a special permission to have a meeting so that we can have fire and police and public works. I think that if there are questions that you have, that you don't understand the process or don't understand why we arrived at the dollars that we're proposing as a small increase from last year, that you talk to Becky directly. She's very good at showing exactly what it's all about. But it's like any corporate board that has to continue to approve things that are going to give them the ability to provide for their stockholders. Our stockholders are a little different. They're the citizens of this community. And the services that we provide, sewer and water, fire, police, infrastructure repair, we can't continually do it on less money when costs continue to go up. And so at what point do we just say, okay, we're not going to provide the services? And then how do you explain that to the people in this community? I mean, I don't really see that we have a good philosophy about, it sounds real good as a soundbite. We're not going to approve any more taxes. Okay, who are we laying off? Who's taking a salary cut? What equipment that we need are we not going to buy? What streets are we not going to pave? Because that's exactly what you're doing with it. Because every penny that gets approved in a budget gets spent on our investors, which are our citizens. The money goes right back to them. So I just, last year was, quite honestly, I was embarrassed for the city and for the corporate authorities that we went through the thing that we went through. Alderman Snow.
And on that note, I was going to ask that next week or December 9th, that we bring this for the committee discussion so that we don't have the fiasco that occurred potentially next year or last year, and see if a dog and pony show of some sort might help take care of some of that.
Ms. Tobin?
Well, one thing that will help is next week, the actuary from Lauterbach and Amen will be here, because the police and fire will do their annual letter where they announce that the dollars that they need that are arrived from the actuarial report that they were requesting from the levy. So next week, you'll hear a little bit more from police and fire. And the increase that they will be asking for is higher than what your anticipated levy is to go up. So your increase that we're requesting isn't even high enough to cover what we have to pay for the increase in police and fire. So just something to think about. But with the actuary here, that might help as well.
Alderman Freeman.
So last year I voted no on a property tax increase, and I will be inclined to do so again. I feel like we didn't increase property taxes last year, and the city ran just fine. Nobody went without. Our police department got their vests and their tasers, and our fire department got what they needed. Public Works functioned. I feel like there's other ways we can get revenue. Maybe get some retail and commercial in here. Maybe, I don't know why there's growth all around us, but we can't seem to get anything in Belvidere. As strategically placed as we are off Genoa Road, we can't get a hotel here. We can't get a chain restaurant other than Applebee's. I mean, it's great that we have some private investors, Ryan Crombie and Mr. Caldwell, but, you have to have something for people to come here to then build up around it. Like, I don't know, Trader Joe's, something that we don't have around here that then people build up around it. And I think we need to market our town and the land that we have available and start getting some growth around here for some sales tax so that we don't have to keep raising property taxes on
There have been 47 new businesses since 2013. There has been over $500 million of growth, over 4,400 new jobs created. Trader Joe's isn't coming here. We don't have the demographics for Trader Joe's. We have almost every single kind of hamburger joint and pizza place that we have that is available in the world. We are marketing this community every single day. And if you would like to find out how we do that specifically, I'd suggest that you come in and talk to Pam and you talk to Amy at the chamber and see specifically what programs that we do, or look at their websites, or look at the demographics of what, right now, we don't have enough of a workforce to fill all of the jobs that are available in Belvidere. General Mills is, got many openings. In terms of growth, we have had probably the fastest growth and the most significant growth in the last 5 years of any of the communities our size in the state. So, you know, a wish book is a wonderful thing, but Trader Joe's is not coming here. Aldi's just built onto their operation. It would be nice to have a hotel here. Probably the problem with having a hotel here is that we were waiting, and everybody was waiting to see where the casino was going to get built. And you will note that we got $140 million in developmental money for infrastructure over the next 6 years in the last capital plan from the state, including widening State Street from Shaw Road to the city of Belvidere. I have a very good idea that there will be a couple of hotels along that stretch once that road work is done and the casino is completed. There is 2 hotel projects in the works right now for the city of Belvidere. So, you know, I share your concern, but we're already more than halfway there to achieving a lot of those kinds of things. RP Lumber, we filled the old Kmart. It took a while. You can't just snap your fingers and get people to come and do things. Part of the challenge is Illinois, because we are having an outward flight of companies in Illinois and our workforce to Indiana, to Wisconsin, et cetera. Again, we're doing everything that we can in the city of Belvidere to encourage growth and bring folks here. I can't change what's going on downstate. We are looking to find other, we have a series of incentives that we offer. We have an enterprise zone, we have TIFs, and we have the reputation now that we will work with any business that wants to come here and try to find exactly what their needs are and how we can meet what their requirements are. We've been very inventive in that fact. A lot of people are not, and you should know this right away, that we captured all but one of the major suppliers for the latest Chrysler FCA thing. And, you know, people drive from 70-mile radius to work at the plant. And yes, we had a layoff, but the layoff was a geopolitical issue about tariffs, because we were shipping cars to 100 countries. Now those 100 countries are receiving their cars from a plant that makes the Cherokee in China. So, you know, some things are within our control, and we work very hard to offer every opportunity that we can to do the things that you're talking about. Any business that has come here with a good, solid business plan within the last 5 years is making money hand over fist. Go talk to any of them. If someone starts a business with a bad business plan, chances are it's not going to be successful. So we spend a lot of time working with all of the city departments when a business comes here to understand specifically what their needs are. Any of the aldermen are welcome to come sit in on any of those processes when we're interviewing businesses that are coming to work here. And I would agree with you, we're very fortunate that we have folks like Ryan Crombie and like Mr. Caldwell that are willing to invest in, but they wouldn't be investing in a community they didn't think was on the upswing, quite frankly.
I just see Love's Park building up, I see Roscoe building up, I see even Marengo is building up, you know, and I'm not talking about industrial, I'm talking about, you know, quality of life, shopping, dining, entertainment. We don't have a lot of that here in Belvidere, and that's where your sales tax revenue comes from.
Well, maybe when we propose the sidewalk cafe ordinance this time around, we can get it passed. Other comments? Yes, Alderman Porter.
I had one question. Do we know yet if we're going to be involved in this police and fire pension consolidation of the state of Illinois? Because according to the article I read, it is going to help cities not have to raise their taxes quite so high because it's going to have better investments. Do we know if we're going to be in on that?
Everybody in the state's going to be in on that. The local government pensions for local cities, those monies are our monies. The investment scenario, as explained, is that by having one fire pension and one board and one police pension board, they'll be able to invest in a better fashion and get higher returns on the money than the 650 individual boards. So yes, we will be part of that. As far as that saving us money, that remains to be seen. If in a boom market, there's a potential that higher returns could reduce the amount that we have to pay, but that's not how that calculation is based on the year-to-year returns at all. It's based on a Ponzi scheme to keep paying forever. Police and fire departments are not going away, so the idea that we're not going to pay pensions is not a realistic idea. Becky, do you want to add
Well,
to
I was
that?
just going to say, I think from what I've read and I understand, we're hoping that every year it's not going up so high. I mean, most of these local governments can't keep up with it. 45% of our tax levy is paying police and fire pensions. You have some local governments, 100% of their levy is paying for police and fire pensions. It's not sustainable. And at some point, it won't be sustainable for us. I mean, it'll keep compounding. So the thought is it may not go down very much, but we're hoping that it just stops to increase at the rate that it has been every year.
And part of that is they may stretch it out for more years, which is not a solution either. And again, I would point very specifically to the fact that we have not devised a pension system yet. This may be an improvement, but it doesn't solve the problem or create a tax windfall for us at all at this point. Other questions and comments? Alderman Snow?
Again, I'd like to reiterate that on December 9th that we bring this up for discussion so that we don't have that we're all out on the open and everybody has an
I would
understanding.
suggest that everybody should bring their questions. I think, of course, we'll talk about it. Why wouldn't we?
It's not on the agenda, most likely. They got the first reading on the 2nd, and then we don't usually wind up discussing
Well, now
anything.
it is. So, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, when your name is called, will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Crawford.
Aye.
Frank.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
McGee.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Ratcliffe.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Brereton.
Aye.
9 in favor.
It's unanimous. Next up, under number 7, we have approval of expenditures. General and special fund expenditures of $1,832,036.17. May I have a motion to approve? Motion by Alderman Snow. May I have a second, please? Second by Alderman Ratcliffe. Questions, comments, specific questions about any of the expenditures? Alderman Freeman.
I had one for Chief Heiser. On page 20 of this, we paid a little over $3,500 for NFPA hose testing. Is that just our annual inspection, or I think I read those are supposed to be done not only annually, but every 3 years, and the nozzles as well. So how did those test out? Did they test out okay? We don't need any new hoses?
Yep, tested real well. We lost one section of 5-inch hose. So, yep, that's it.
Alderman Stevens.
So we now have a company come and test the hoses instead of the firemen doing it?
Yes, we've been doing that for a few years now. It's an UFPA requirement for everybody in the room here, that the hose gets tested. One of the things that we decided a few years back in this council was the liability for firefighters. We had this individual get hit in the face a few years back. The cost at like $3,500 could be 10 times that in the event of somebody getting an injury. Also, all 3 shifts, when we do it, each shift is pretty much taking up 4 or 5 hours of the day. All of our hose gets put on the ground. Back then, we'd do 3 calls on an average. Today, we're 8 to 9 calls per shift, if not more, plus fire prevention activities and other things. So, and then, again, also the unnecessary abuse to our fire pumps. So those are just some of the things.
Additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Frank?
Aye.
Freeman?
Aye.
McGee?
Aye.
Porter?
Aye.
Ratcliffe?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Crawford?
Aye.
9 in favor.
General and special fund expenditures are approved unanimously. Next up, water and sewer fund expenditures in the amount of $634,238.44. Motion to approve. Alderman Frank,
I'll make that.
second by Alderman Crawford. Questions or comments concerning any of these expenditures? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Freeman?
Aye.
McGee?
Aye.
Porter?
Aye.
Ratcliffe?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Crawford?
Aye.
Frank?
Aye.
9 in favor.
Water and sewer fund expenditures are approved unanimously. Thank you. Under number 8, committee reports and minutes of city officers, please note that items A through G have been received and placed on file, which brings us to item H, minutes of the Committee of the Whole, Building, Planning and Zoning and Public Works of November 12th, 2019. Motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Crawford, second. Second by Alderman Frank. Questions, comments, or proposed amendments to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
McGee?
Aye.
Porter?
Abstain.
Ratcliffe?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Crawford?
Aye.
Frank?
Aye.
Freeman?
Aye.
8 approved, 1 abstained.
Motion is passed. Now on to unfinished business under number 9. First up, ordinance 472H, a second reading, an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain personal property, being police department vehicles and seized vehicles, and approving the purchase of new vehicles. May I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Crawford, second by Alderman Porter. Questions, comments concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Porter?
Aye.
Ratcliffe?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Crawford?
Aye.
Frank?
Aye.
Freeman?
Aye.
McGee?
Aye.
9 approved.
Ordinance 472H is approved unanimously. Brings us to B, motion to approve the city attorney drafting an ordinance for gas use tax and agreement with NICOR to collect tax. We will leave this on the table for the time being. Under number 10, new business, we have 2 ordinances of first reading, which are silent readings, but as usual, I'll read them into the record for the folks at home. Ordinance 473H, first reading. An ordinance authorizing the execution of an amendment to an annexation agreement between the City of Belvidere and Hardman Company, Frank M. Shappert, trustee, Margaret W. Shappert, trustee, and Patrick B. Madison, trustee. Under B, we have ordinance 474H, a first reading, an ordinance amending section 43-29, drug-free workplace of the City of Belvidere Municipal Code. Next, we have motions from Committee of the Whole, Building, Planning and Zoning and Public Works of November 12th, 2019. Motions will be presented by Chairman Freeman. Chairman Freeman, you have the floor.
Thank you. A, motion to approve the low bid from RNOW Incorporated for a Dinkmar curb runner leaf machine in the amount of $61,425. This equipment will be paid for from the Street Department Capital Fund number 41-5-752-8200.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Ratcliffe?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Crawford,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
9 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously.
B, motion to approve the change order number 1 from Apollo Trenchless in the amount of $32,919.50 for the Appleton Force Main Extension. This work will be paid for from sewer connection fees number 0510.
Motion on committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Alderman Stevens.
Once we do this, how long is it gonna take them before to get back to work at it and start getting it done so the pipe's not laying there super much longer?
I suspect that they will put things in motion as soon as I call them tomorrow morning and tell them to move ahead. So I think they've already been in the process of making arrangements for the new equipment and stuff. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks, hopefully that pipe will be disappearing.
Additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Crawford,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
9 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously.
C, motion to approve the design engineering work order from Baxter and Woodwin in an amount not to exceed $7,400 to complete the engineering design for the replacement of 3 sluice gates in the main equipment building at the wastewater treatment plant. This work will be paid for from line item number 61-5-820-6190.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Alderman Porter.
Brett, I was just wondering, are we replacing these like part for part, or why do we need to have engineering done before we do these?
They're part for part, but they're, the specification, the bid documents, and the method of basically the bypass pumping and the other contingency things that have to be put in place for the work to be done is all included in that process. And they'll also look at some automation of those gates with automatic openers, and there's some other improvements to them other than the specific, the gate itself.
Additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Stevens,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Crawford,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
9 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously.
D, motion to accept the Urban and Community Forestry Grant in the amount of $12,815 from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and the U.S. Forest Service.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Brereton,
Aye.
Crawford,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman, McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
9 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously. Thank you, Chairman Freeman. Brings us to number 11. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Oh. Pass back.
Some of you who check your city email may have noticed that you got an email from ADP, or you may have thought it was junk and pitched it. That is part of our new ADP implementation process. We will resend those emails. They aren't junk. They're so that you're able to log in. You won't have to worry about entering your time because you're salaried at a certain, but it would allow you to go in, and if you wanted to pull off old W-2s, change your banking information, change your address, update your W-4, those types of things, you would be able to go in there. and do that information. It's going to be automated starting next week. So we are starting some training tomorrow. I know most of you work during the day, but you're welcome to come here for these trainings. I have the schedule, and I do have a one-page form that may help you a little bit as you go through trying to set up your sign-in. And if you have problems, I can help you as well as Sarah.
My problem has always been with the emails. We just changed mine a month or so ago, or 2 months ago. Within 2 weeks, it stopped working again.
Swing by, we'll set it back up. Talk to Brent about that. Additional questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, we are now adjourned. Thank you so much.